All right, welcome back to my channel, The Awakening for Life, representing the underdog. I will be your host, Nay, with a lot to say. Don't forget to rate, comment, with a subscribe. Thank you for listening in, and I just want to jump right up into it. So I had made a YouTube short, excuse me, pertaining to the awakening process and how you're going to be labeled as an enemy the moment you start tapping into your inner mind. When you start raising up your consciousness, raising up your frequency, things to pretty much move your life along, move your spirit along to another journey, live outside and think outside the box. And many of you that have been following me for quite some time, you like, you know what, Nay, I hear you. I see what you're doing. I see that you're feeling pumped up. You're feeling amped up. You excited. You passionate about the stuff. You coming with such optimism. But I'm not sure if I have what it takes to awaken right now. With the state of the world, with everything going on, I'm not so sure that I'm confident enough to get these said abilities. And for that, I must say that you're welcome to how you feel. This ain't a channel where I'm trying to force you to do something that you don't want to do. No, this is a channel that you work at your own pace. This channel serves as a guide. And it's up to you when the time is right. And the thing about it is, I feel like certain conditions must be met in order to awaken. It's like when you play a video game and you get a character that starts on level 1. But throughout the progression of the game, that character starts to level up. And into leveling up, the character is going to develop the skills necessary to make that character even powerful. And so that's what the awakening process is, to break it down. It's all about going through the journey to get them experience points. And to basically show you, in theory, as a mentor once told me, that there's more than one way to climb the mountain, to basically get your mind right, to get the things right for you. So again, everybody's journey is unique to them. Now, in order to understand where the hate is going to come from, let's take it back from the very beginning. I kind of said that kind of strong, like a roller coaster. Let's take it back from the beginning. So, some of you guys have came from situations where you were homeless at one point of time. If you really on the lowest of the low, if you really down in the trenches, like down in the mud, you really down in the dirt, right? And some of you resorted to doing things that you weren't proud of doing, but it was the only way at that particular time that you could make it. Such as sleeping in abandoned houses, sleeping on used mattresses, sifting through the waste in order to gain some type of nutrients that can get you going from one day to the next day. Some of you failed to have 2 nickels to rub together to get you to one destination to another destination. Some of you basically did things that you weren't too proud of in order to keep the lights on, in order to keep the water running, in order to keep the mortgage paid or the rent paid. You had to make a lot of sacrifices, especially when you have dependents behind you. But let's say, for the sake of conversation, it's just you. And you really down bad. And the reality of it is, some of us in situations where we're consuming the poison, while others are consuming the kryptonite. And we all have kryptonite. We all have something that we're weak against. But in most cases, some of us, to a higher degree, are affected by both the poison and the kryptonite. And we know if we continue to go said path, well, we know we're moments away from meeting the maker, right? Can't avoid it. And so the reality is, when you're going through all these things, when you're going through the bad and the ugly and the nasty and the filth, I'm talking about when you're really going through it, you realize that you're invisible to society. Like, it's almost like, for example, you could be sleeping on a sidewalk or be sleeping on a bench. And people, for a moment, they will stop and stare for the most part, or they may drop a coin in the, whether it's the coffee mug that you have, they may have a little bit of sympathy for you, but in the reality, in the grand scheme of things, they're ready to go back to their comfort. And then you're all forgotten. So now at this point, the ball is in your court to figure out how you're going to make it from there. And a lot of people from the outside looking in, they see the choices that you made instead of the choices that you had in this particular point. Because sometimes you only get one option if you're really down and bad. And you really are down, right? And so the moment you start, praying, you try to fix your life up, you try to get the momentum snowball, you try to get some glimmer of hope to make it throughout the day. And luck has it that it has found a purpose to restore your faith in yourself. And all it takes is something small. You might have been granted by somebody who passed by and say, hey, do you want a job? And you're like, yeah, I'll take it. Put me to work. And where there's a will, you found a way, you made the way. All it took is that one job to get you on your feet. You start showing up every day, start taking overtime, you start outworking people. Your mindset starts changing. And slowly but surely, you saved up enough money to now you are able to enjoy the comfort in your own home now. With the lights on, with the water. It feels good to take a shower, put that soap, on your body, the things that we take for granted. You're finally able to get a nice warm meal in your body. You're like, ooh, because you've been missing it for so long. That's what living on the streets would do, is when you finally been able to taste the freshness of the food, when you're finally able to experience the water hitting your body, when you're able to experience feeling good and smelling good, it changes the mindset. And so now you decided that you're going to splurge a little bit, get yourself some clothes, get yourself a couple pair of shoes. And now you're in the game because now you know what it's like to win. Now you got a little bit of winning, and all of a sudden you're not the same person anymore. You look different, you walk different, you talk different. And people who have known you from being on the sidewalk, they gonna like, is this the same person? Buddy was just down in the trenches about 3 months ago. All right, you see Buddy with the suit and the tie and, riding the bicycle and everything, because you got to work your way up. It's a progress in work. Yeah, it's progression. Come on now. And so a couple more weeks on the job, and now you got yourself a whip. Now you going in and everywhere, got yourself a little car, now you zooming. You making things happen. To the point where now you starting to outgrow people. Uh-oh. Now it's starting to get scary. So you've finally been able to get yourself together, pull yourself together by some type of intervention, all for that one opportunity. That one opportunity that a lot of people take for granted, you took it and you ran with it. Damn. You've been promoted. They like the way you think. You're always ahead of the game. And here's where things get dicey now. Because when you've finally been able to go from pushing the, what they call that? What is that? One of them grocery carts. When you go from living in the tents, when you go from sleeping on the sidewalks to making it, now all eyes are on you. Now, keep in mind, and I say this for a reason, before they didn't care. Before you were just treated as an outcast. Before you was treated as the underdog. Before they made fun of you. They called you all type of names. Before their ignorance was showing towards you. And here you just existed. Here you were just a beggar. Here you were just struggling to keep your head above the water. Come on now. Follow me. So you was invisible this whole time. Now you got to the level where you're winning. You done broke free. You don't comply to what societal norms. You don't care about what people think about you. And here's where things get interesting is when all of a sudden these religious scholars will go out and start throwing Bible verses at you. Or there are people out here that are proclaim that they're mental health counselor. Now they're trying to diagnose you. And I'm not against anybody who's religious. I do believe in the Most High. But I don't like the fact how some people pick the scriptures, knowing that they don't live the life, and they try to put them on somebody else who has went through the bad and the ugly, who has went through some things. So you coming from an attacking point of view because this person is choosing to think outside the box. And it's all, of course, fed by the people at the top. See, the people at the top, they look at people who think outside the box as a threat. They say to themselves, we can't have 1% of these people thinking this sort of way. We can't have them thinking like this. We can't have them thinking outside the box. No. Because those small majority of people are going to start waking up more and more people to do things that are different. And if they're doing their own thing and they doing things that's different, then they're going to break free away from the control, the traps, the hamster wheel that we had set out for them. So what they do in turn is they try to set up narratives, and this is just my belief, all right? They try to set up narratives to basically project fears onto people. I'll use my community for example. Look how much money that has been wasted to target my community. Look how much money that's been put out there. In the reality of what we live in, follow me, everyone has their price. And what comes with the price is the part that what some people are willing to play for that price. So if I'm willing to throw 30 grand for you to do something that's controversial, well, chances are that 30 grand in this economy is what you're going to need to do something that's controversial. Now, you get the news clip that take a hold of this controversial subject and play in the emotional strings of the people. And now, based on what they've been fed, the people are going to turn against you based on what they see. When all they really are doing is bringing Hollywood to the real world. That's all they're doing. They're paying these actors to act out and carry out certain things to get a response from we the people, right? And so when you start winning, what it's going to look like is, oh, you done sold your soul to get this, or you part of you part of a bad system, or you living wrong, you doing this and you doing that. Before they didn't care, but now they care when you don't fall in line because the media told them to care. See, the media programmed their mind to care. And the way they do it is they throw the insecurities out here. Well, these people are trying to take from you. This homeless guy right now that came up from here to here is all of a sudden now trying to take something away from you. And they'll spin it in a way. And I'm saying that if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. If it can happen to you, it can happen to anybody. Just the fact that you're starting to think differently. If you looked at the movie Ants, it was a group of creatures that was the outcast to the whole ant society. And the analogy behind it is, hey, there's more of us than them. They need us to do their bidding. And so when you don't do their bidding anymore, now, again, you're going to be perceived as a threat. So all of the insecurity is going to be recycled into the hate, and that's what we're seeing in real time. So I'm going to bring the receipts in this, and I'm going to challenge you on this. I could be wrong, but let me throw it out there. You start winning in life. You start climbing the corporate ladder. You start making things happen where you're thinking above and beyond. You start living your life on your terms. And then you tell me after a while, will the hate be there when you start to rise? You tell me, because I can guarantee you it will. I can guarantee you the stories will be told about you. I can guarantee you somebody is going to basically play your name, or basically you're going to be the bad guy or bad girl in someone else's story. You're going to be the op. You're going to be the enemy when you stop coming through for other people. I guarantee it, when you start winning, when you start getting somewhere, that's when you too could be accused of doing things that you never even done. And they'll take that one person, that one individual, and they'll make it as an entire group. Breaking news, a homeless man was able to do X, Y, and Z. Breaking news, this type of person. Breaking news, that type of person. And some people will believe that one person, that we're all the same. But that's the trick, to rope you in on following the sheep's mentality. Because in theory, they don't want you thinking for yourself. The awakening process teaches you that if you think for yourself, you wind up making it. You make it. Here's another thing too. Sometimes it can become relentless, because then it becomes a broken record. It's like that Tim McGraw and Nelly song. It's all in my head. I think about it over and over again. I think about it over and over again. It's all in my head. I think about it over and over again. Now, I'm not saying that for the sake of conversation that the song may have a different meaning to it. But we're going to utilize this song as an example of trying to sabotage someone else's personal growth, personal development over and over again, because we have nothing else on a person. We have nothing else. Like meat, you take it out of the oven, let it rest. Let it rest. Gotta let it rest. So I'm saying this to say that anybody could be sabotaged for their growth, for their mindset. And here you ain't broke no laws. Here you ain't caused nobody, you didn't do anything to nobody's health, nobody's safety, nobody's freedom. You just minding your own business, trying to figure this thing out. There was times where you was begging for help, that you was crying for help, and yet you was ignored. It fell on deaf ears. And I get back to this because it's like when you're in the trenches and you're alone, you're looking for the word. You're looking for the Bible. You're looking for everything. If you into spirituality or you into religion, you're looking for all that. But it comes after the fact that you have grown. Now, the same scriptures that you was looking for as a form of healing is the same scriptures that when you're on the top are used to condemn you. When you needed a shoulder to cry on, when you needed somebody to tell you was going to be okay, when you needed a friend to stay up with you, to talk with you. Sometimes all you needed was somebody to tell you was going to be all right. But then again, it's catch-22, because then it goes back to the gobos thing. The game ain't based off of sympathy. So I say to say this. The journey is not for everybody. And we have the potential to get there, but it's all mindset. And what blocks us and what stunts our growth is because we are so afraid of what other people think. We're so afraid of what other people may see us as. We are temporary vessels, I want to say, living in a permanent world. This world is going to continue to move on and progress with or without us. That's the reality of it. We're basically get torn down by our fears. And that's the job of the 1%, to be honest. The top 1% is to take the fears. Oh, here's these group of people, they're trying to take something from you. Trying to take something from you. It's always take something. And the thing about it is they don't want to come up with a solution. No. Why come up with a solution when you can drag it on for years? There's no money to be made in the solution, but there's more money to be made in the problem. Because the problem comes with campaign donations, campaign contributions, all those things. That's why they prolong it. Overnight, if it's for our own interest, it gets done. But if it's for the will of the people, it doesn't get done. If it's for the will of the people, it doesn't get done. We'll just talk about it some more and talk about it some more and get people riled up and get people riled up. We'll even stage something so then we can make it believable. And we'll stage this and stage that and stage this. Where now we're all at odds with each other. It's all pretty much the part of the plot, part of the plan. And I'm saying right now, you have it in you to keep doing what you have to do. You have it in you. But again, this is on your terms, on your time. This just serves as a guide. And be patient with yourself. Be patient. Nothing happens before it's time. Be patient with your mind, your body, and soul. And eventually, you're going to get to a place where it's all going to come together. And when it come together, you're going to be at peace. You're going to have the freedom that you've been looking for this entire time. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your goals. Don't give up on who you were meant to be. Because if you surrender your willpower to them, what do you have left? Let me know how y'all feel in the comment section. I appreciate y'all for listening, and I'll see y'all next time.